Welcome to BD Daily Tech News Podcast, your daily briefing on tech and innovation. It's 2026, January 15th, and today's theme is simple. AI is trying to escape the screen and move into the physical world, while the internet's reference layer and your phone network remind us who really runs your day.
AI escaping the screen sounds like a horror movie where my toaster starts asking for my Wi-Fi password. Please tell me today's stories end with, and then everyone logged out.
No logging out. But we will make it practical. What happened, the simple tech behind it, and what to do as a normal person, developer, or manager. 3 main stories, plus 1 quick regulatory reality check.
Great! I brought emotional support skepticism and a tiny flashlight for the data center basement we all apparently live in now.
Story 1. OpenAI is reportedly seeking US-based suppliers for a planned robotics and AI device push, essentially requesting proposals from hardware makers as part of a product expansion. Translation: the company that popularized chatbots is acting like it wants to ship atoms, not just apps.
So we're going from AI writes my emails to AI can physically hand my boss the email and maybe trip him on the way. Why the sudden obsession with US-based suppliers? Is this a patriotism arc or a shipping cost arc?
Most likely a risk management arc. Hardware is supply chains, compliance, tariffs, geopolitics, and lead times. If you're planning robotics or consumer devices, you want predictable manufacturing and fewer cross-border surprises. US-based sourcing can also help with security and procurement requirements, depending on where the devices are sold.
Okay. Explain the tech like I'm a golden retriever with a LinkedIn. What's the difference between AI in my phone and AI in a device in real life?
Think of phone AI as a very smart call center that lives in the cloud and answers your requests. A robotics or dedicated AI device is like giving that call center a body and a schedule. It needs sensors to perceive the world, compute to decide, and actuators to do things. And it needs to do some of that locally because latency and connectivity are not guaranteed.
So the product roadmap is give it the chatbot eyeballs, then give it hands, then give it the confidence of a middle manager. Cool.
Why it matters: if OpenAI or any major AI lab moves into devices, it ships competition from best model to best integrated experience. For users, that can mean new assistants that live across home, work, and car. For developers, it means new APIs and constraints, on-device inference budgets, privacy expectations, and hardware fragmentation.
Actionable takeaway for normal humans. If AI devices show up, what should we watch for, besides the device quietly judging my kitchen cleanliness?
3 checks. 1. Where processing happens, on-device versus cloud. 2. What data is stored and for how long. 3. What permissions are required for sensors like cameras and microphones. If a product can't explain those clearly, assume the default is collect more than you expect.
Speaking of collect more than you expect, let's talk about Wikipedia. I saw the Wikimedia Foundation announced new AI partnerships with Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Perplexity, and others. Is Wikipedia getting paid, or is this just the internet's group project being photocopied again?
What happened? Wikimedia says these partnerships allow companies to access its content, like Wikimedia, at scale. The key phrase is at scale. This is about structured, high-volume access that's more predictable than constant scraping and potentially more governed.
So instead of a million bots kicking the door in, we're giving them a guest pass and a clipboard. Simple tech version. Is this basically an API deal?
Exactly. Imagine Wikipedia is a public library. Scraping is like sending 10,000 people to sprint through the aisles, ripping out photocopies. An official partnership is the library setting up a service desk. Here's the catalog export, here are the rules, and here's how we keep the lights on.
Why it matters for normal people. Do I get better AI answers? Or do I get a future where my aunt's Wikipedia edits become a corporate subscription feature?
Both pressures exist. Better access can improve citation, freshness, and reduce the collateral damage of scraping traffic. But it also formalizes the idea that foundational knowledge is an input pipeline for AI products. The public interest win is if partnerships fund infrastructure and protect the site's stability. The risk is if incentives drift away from volunteers and toward platform deals.
Actionable takeaway. If you use AI for school or work, you should still click sources, and maybe donate to Wikipedia before your AI starts charging you a knowledge convenience fee.
Story 3. Verizon says it will issue $20 credits to customers affected by a widespread outage and attributed the incident to a software issue. This is the least glamorous but most important category of tech news: reliability.
A software issue took down a nationwide network, and the apology is the price of 2 fancy coffees. Honestly, that tracks. Simple tech version, how does software knock out something that feels like electricity?
Think of a mobile network like an airport system. Planes are the phones, and the control software routes them, authenticates them, and manages congestion. If the control layer misconfigures routing or authentication, the runways are still there, but nobody can take off or land. One bad change can cascade very quickly.
So my phone wasn't broken. The network just forgot who I am. Relatable. Why it matters. Besides missing texts, what's the grown-up consequence here?
Outages hit emergency communications, two-factor logins, gig work, and small businesses that run on mobile point of sale. Actionable? Enable Wi-Fi calling, keep an offline copy of critical contacts, and if you rely on mobile for work, consider a backup eSIM or a second carrier, especially for travel days or important client calls.
A backup eSIM is the adult version of carrying a granola bar just in case. I hate that you're right.
Quick bite before we wrap. Setapp Mobile, a third-party app store for iPhone in the EU, is shutting down, citing still evolving and complex terms. This is a real-world data point on how hard it is to build alternative app distribution even when regulations open the door.
So the EU said competition, and reality said paperwork. For users, that means don't expect 10 magical new iPhone app stores overnight, right?
Right. The actionable insight is patience and caution. If you do use alternative distribution, verify the publisher, understand payment and refund paths, and keep your device security tight. The long-term signal is that policy changes don't automatically create viable businesses. Execution and clear rules do.
Recap me, logically, because my brain is currently a browser with 47 tabs, and one of them is just the word robots flashing.
Recap. 1. OpenAI is reportedly lining up US-based suppliers, signaling a serious move toward robotics and AI devices. 2. Wikimedia is formalizing large-scale AI access partnerships, aiming to manage scale and sustainability. 3. Verizon's outage and $20 credits highlight how software control planes can disrupt critical networks. And Setapp Mobile's shutdown shows how messy alternative app stores can be in practice.
And the personal action items are check your device permissions, click sources when AI answers confidently, and set up Wi-Fi calling before the next software issue eats your afternoon.
If this helped, subscribe to BD Daily Tech News Podcast and share the episode with someone who thinks hardware is just a vibe. We'll be back with the next briefing.
And if a robot shows up at your door asking for a firmware update, don't open it. See you tomorrow.